Hello, and welcome to Astral Express Chat, a Honkai Star Rail podcast. This is your host, Brant, and I'm joined by my co-host, Zane.
Hello, welcome back.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a week hiatus.
Yes, life is busy sometimes.
Yeah, some stuff happens, and, we just didn't end up recording an episode, so, I apologize.
Yeah. Well, it happens.
Yeah, it is what it is. Anyways, we're back, and we're finally going to talk about Even Immortality Dies.
Is it dies or ends?
And frick. Alright. Today we're going to be talking about Even Immortality Ends. Yes, that's right. All of 1.2, except Zan has not done all the companion missions yet, so we won't be covering those.
Yeah, I'm really great at doing things.
And yeah, besides that though, we will be covering, we both have completed the story for 1.2.
Yes.
Which I will say, I'll start off by saying, I feel like it was a little bit too quick.
Yeah.
I feel like, compared to the whole first part of the Shinzo Lofu, I feel like the whole first part was kept feeling, it felt like it was dragging on, like it was too long. And then this one felt like it was too short. I was like, considering how long the first part took, I was like, oh, this part's going to take at least a giant chunk of time. It only took me 2 hours to beat this thing.
Yeah, I thought for sure we'd be going through, the Disciples of St. Maticus's base and, getting to fight some, leaders of the Disciples of St. Maticus and, getting a lot more with that as opposed to just kind of oh, hey, you made it to the Alchemy Refuge. Oh, hey, fight a couple random things.
Yeah, because I feel like you sort of just walk through, and then it's boop, you're there.
Yeah, do you have to fight any of these enemies? No.
Well, you didn't have to do any side quests. It was basically just walk.
Yeah.
You just walk through the area, and that's it.
Yeah, walk there, do one quick boss fight. The Tingyun thing happens.
Oh, yeah, I guess we should talk about that. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I wasn't... There's times where there's, twist, villains, and I don't like it. But I wasn't... This one didn't bother me. I thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, now I just have to figure out what happened with actual Tingyun.
Oh, no. She's just dead. No. I don't know. I assume we'll probably get a companion mission at some point, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. And I haven't done the companion missions, but it kind of felt like this enemy that we were supposed to somehow know about just kind of came out of nowhere with no relevant context as to what
there wasn't really any leading up to it.
Yeah, it's just kind of oh my goodness, they're a Ravager, they're this terrible thing, and I'm what's a Ravager?
Well, I think I think the other thing is too, the whole first part of the story we're learning about this disciple, the Sanctus Medicus things, right?
Yeah.
And then we end up fighting the boss of it right before at that well thing,
right?
And that felt okay.
It
felt a little
kind of anticlimactic.
I feel like getting to fight that was okay.
Yeah, sure.
But
yeah.
As soon as we fought it, boop, another villain, and it's we just completely trashed the Sanctus Medicus thing, and then they're out the window, and it's I was what? I was we spent all this time working up this entire enemy faction just for it to be and now we're
thrown to the wayside for this other thing that's supposed to be higher stakes, but yet we don't know anything about it.
Well, I know it's supposed to be a semi...
a lieutenant of...
a destruction boss.
Yeah, a lieutenant of Nook.
But I feel they didn't really set it up at all.
Yeah, but conversely, look at Genshin. You hear all the time about the 11 Harbingers and how they serve the Tsaritsa.
Yeah.
Before we even fought Child, we were aware of how, influential and strong and powerful they are. And here, it's just oh my goodness, here's this, lieutenant of... I don't remember their official title.
Yeah,
I think Ravager or something was what it was.
Yeah.
But, here's this
it's
being
Fantilla,
that,
right?
Yeah, it's Fantilla. Yeah, but here's, this being that serves, this destruction Aeon. And, we haven't heard anything about them. We don't know anything about what they do. They're supposedly, these awful people, but, once again, where was the backstory behind this? And now we're rushed into this fight with them.
Right.
That like, while the animations are cool and all, I still don't understand why they're there or what they're really doing.
One thing I will say that I did like was when she walked up and touched the Mara-struck soldiers and turned them into the Antimatter Legion. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you noticed that. I thought that was cool. But like you said, I think if they were going to switch it to a twist villain, they needed to do some setup.
Yeah, it had
and
to
not just be like, oh yeah, twist villain. Like, yeah, what?
Like, we needed to have heard about it, like, on the space station.
Yeah, it wouldn't need to be something where, like, while we were doing it, like, in the whole first part, we kept hearing about, like, some leader, like, besides the one that we ended up seeing.
Well, I don't think we needed that, right? Because, like, the whole point of a twist villain is that you're not supposed to see it coming at all. So, like, I almost feel like either on Eurilo 6 or on the space station or something, we need to hear about, like, these Ravagers and how they serve the destruction and how, like, horrible they are and their world-ending calamities, almost. So that we're, like, somewhere in the back of our mind where, like, there's these people that are, like, really bad and really powerful.
But, like, I think good twist villains have set up just to where you don't realize it's set up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the best ones are when you're like, oh, when it happens. And this one, I was just like, okay. I was like, I don't know why this is happening.
It was like an O, but it was like an O, like a Y.
It was like,
what is this?
I was just like, what's going on?
Like, they get 20 points for surprise, because, like, I had no idea that was going to come, but, like, also, they lose points for the, like...
lack of a setup.
And relevance.
There's no setup. Like, literally nothing. It's literally it's like a 180. Like, we go from Team Yun just being... like this happy, like, oh, benefactors to, oh, benefactors.
Yeah, the whole setup you get is no, I'm gonna come with you. Oh, the like, Mara-struck dust isn't really affecting me that bad. And I just thought all it was gonna do was make her Mara-struck or something. Like, temporarily. But, like, I don't know. It was
bizarre.
It felt weird.
But, aside from the whole twist villain and Phantilia, I will say the one part I did like was the other part that happened with the General, Don Hung, Blade, and then the little Ice General guy, the little one.
Yanking?
Yeah. That part I did like. I thought that part was cool.
That Scale Gorge Waterscape. I can read, I swear.
No, I think if you go, there's like a little side path over here.
I thought
it was like a little island.
I thought they fought on Scale Gorge.
No.
Did they not?
If you haven't been over there, if you go to the dock, it just takes you to a little area. You can't do anything there, but it's like that little, like, sphere, that little square they battled on.
Oh, okay. I haven't been there, clearly.
But I thought that was a really cool way to do their part felt like it was an actual...
Yeah, theirs made some sense, right? I mean, like, that had the air of mystery to it that you wanted, but, like, you could tell that they actually knew what was going on, and, like, you had some idea of what was going on.
Well, there was actual build-up to it.
Right, exactly. Like, there was enough alluded to it in the first place that, like, you're able to follow what's happening.
Right, it's not like, what?
And, like, you can actually understand the stakes, which is the issue with the whole Ravager.
Yeah.
And I'm going to apologize in advance if the title isn't actually Ravager.
Yeah. I liked it. I liked the way Yanking actually, like, tried to fight them both.
Yes.
I thought that was entertaining. And I knew in the back of my mind, as soon as they did that, the only reason they were doing that is to put it in, like, MOC as, like, an enemy.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, it's also cool, just a cool enemy that they already have visual models for.
Yeah.
Like,
I like the little sword things he summons. I thought that was interesting. Cool.
And, I mean, it was an interesting fight. It's always cool getting to test a 5-star character that's going to be coming out in the future while they try to make it so that you don't have any idea how they actually work.
Yeah, I did not understand how he worked.
Yeah, I know.
It seemed like you just used his skill infinitely.
And it didn't use skill points, there's no reason to not use it all 3 times. I know, that's
what I was confused about. So I was like, I just get the spam skill?
Yeah, like there's got to be some trade-off, right?
I know,
somehow
it's like,
in his actual kit.
I was like, what is happening?
I don't know. And just like every time the attack does more damage, it's just like, why wouldn't I push this button?
Yeah, right. It's like, I thought it would be each time you hit it uses a skill point.
Yep.
But it doesn't. So I'm like, huh? Like, what's the point of this? Like,
I don't know.
like it's just free damage. Like, it might just be like a restricted version of the character.
Right. I mean, think of Luocha, right? But he kind of works.
But he works the way. At least I remember him working the way.
Yeah, that he actually. Yeah, Luocha.
It wasn't confusing.
Correct. His made sense.
No, wait. We didn't even get to run him. It was just AI run.
That is true.
So we didn't even get to see what he. We wouldn't have known.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's interesting. We'll see, I guess, what inhibitor I don't remember.
Inhibitor Lunae.
Is that what it is?
I think it's something like that.
We'll see what he ends up doing. I mean,
I'm excited for him.
He could potentially be really good. He's destruction, so he could have a unique kit.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
And I guess we should talk about the areas themselves. The two new areas being the Alchemy Commission and then Scale Gorge Water or something.
One of these things is not like the other.
Yeah.
Alchemy Commission's kind of boring and bland. Yeah.
The only cool part is the little like water fountain thing, and that's at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. It's just another
there.
Like meh.
It's just not really.
It's not.
It doesn't have anything memorable about it
besides the little fountain thing.
Right, and like the fountain thing isn't really the whole place, right? It's only like this tiny
it's only a teeny
area,
portion of it,
so it just kind of doesn't stand out in your mind.
However, opposing that is an area that's very memorable.
Yeah, Skill Gorge Waterscape.
It's definitely my favorite area we've gotten in the game. I think it looks really neat.
I just like Eurylistics too much to give it my favorite area.
Well, it's my favorite like little subdivision of an area. I just think it looks really cool. I like the fact that you can still be on the island part at the start and then still go down.
Mm-hmm.
I think it looks really neat. And I love seeing like the water still like flowing off to the sides.
Right.
And then you can see like creatures moving in the sides of it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks cool.
No, it has a good aesthetic and it's big.
It is pretty big, actually,
and
yeah.
memorable.
Yeah.
Because it's not like the other places. So
right.
They did do a good job with that, for sure. And, I mean, the boss fight is...
The boss fight was cool. I thought
cool.
it was cool.
I mean, it's a little long.
It is long.
I had to do it twice because my game glitched when I made it to the final cutscene and said it couldn't connect to the server. So then I got to fight her twice in a row.
So you really got to see how long it was.
I really got to see how long it was. And it's really long when you do it twice. Like, the first time you're doing it with all the cutscenes and all the dialogue, you're like, oh, this is really sweet.
Yeah.
And then the second that the final cutscene starts and then you have to start over, your immersion is kind of broken.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, I don't want to do this again. I just did it.
Yeah, and I did think the end of the fight with Jin Yuan...
Mm-hmm.
Getting all the destruction particles fused into him. I thought that was cool. However, it doesn't seem like there was any consequence from that. They were like, let's see what happens when your general just turns into a destruction thing. And then, oh, guess what? They killed him. They killed her. And then all of a sudden it's fine. It's like, what?
Yeah. I mean, he got stabbed, right? Like, so he got hurt. But, I mean, he seems fine. So
yeah, I know. I was just expecting that to maybe do a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, he's a playable character,
yeah,
right?
I mean,
know. But it's also Mihoyo, so you never know. They've killed playable characters before, and they'll probably do it again.
Yeah.
Let's hope Himiko is safe this time. Because I think people are going to be real sad if she's not.
I mean, I don't really know much about that because that's from the previous game.
Yeah, I don't know much about it either. I just know it was really supposedly really sad, and people were not a fan of her dying.
Oh. Yeah.
Because they liked her a
lot.
One
thing I will note that we did just completely not see was Luocha. He was completely vacant from the entire thing. Like,
yeah.
And I don't know if that's just because, like, we're going to get a little bit of, like, I don't know, like something like a cutscene or something.
Yeah, I don't know if they're waiting to have his whole. I haven't done the companion quest, so if there's something with him and them, I don't know it.
Okay.
But I don't know if they're going to do something with him in his coffin at some point. Like, I feel like they've got to do something with it somewhat soon. Maybe they're planning that as like
I'm
intermediate
just kind
story
of waiting
filler.
for something to happen. Like,
I don't know, because I know it's like theory crafted that his coffin has Jin Yuan's master in it, and then she'll
right.
become a playable character and all the things. So I don't know. We'll see.
Really showing your lack of companion missions.
Am I?
Yes. You really haven't finished them.
No, I haven't. I've done 1 of 5. I'm your classic wait till the last minute to do everything person.
Zane doesn't really realize what he's saying may or may not be true or wrong.
My bad. I'm wrong, aren't
I? Yeah.
Oops.
So we'll see. I'm quite curious though to see how that turns out.
Now I'll maybe do them at some point and just laugh at how terribly wrong I am. Yeah. But in the meantime, I'm gonna be blissfully ignorant.
Oh, that's gonna be funny. Okay. Let's see. We do have a bunch of new enemies from this. More than I was expecting.
So a surprisingly large number of them, with surprisingly interesting things that they do.
Yeah.
That make them not like the most linear enemies to fight.
Yeah. Specifically the wolves.
Yeah, the wolves.
The wolves are annoying.
Having Sela be my fully built DPS unit, the first time I hopped in a fight with them, I immediately killed the Quantum Weak Wolf. For it to immediately have, like, everyone on their team go immediately. And I was like, what is happening right now? I was like, does every single wolf do this?
Yeah.
Because no one on my team was effective against the other wolf, and then the other wolf spawned in another wolf, and I was like, oh my goodness, what is happening right now? And then the crossbow people were shooting like a bajillion shots.
The crossbow one isn't that bad in my opinion.
They do a good amount of damage for...
It just spreads it.
It does, but like, if you've ever gotten the thing where it does 3 and 2 on people, it like hurts pretty badly. Because it can like hit one person, bounce to the second, bounce back to the first, bounce back to the second, bounce back to the first.
Yeah, I know it can bounce in funky ways.
And they can start wiping, because, they go back and forth. If the RNG lines up badly enough for you, it can start really hurting.
I've just only ever dealt with them with Luocha, to where it's like spreading the damage makes it really easy to heal.
Yeah. I don't use Luocha on my Sela team normally, so
that's a mistake.
But I mean, not that Bailu's bad at dealing with spread damage either, because when she ults, you get the smart heals on everybody. But yeah, I don't know. And then the ape guy on the new relic domain, he's also pretty beefy. I mean, he hits pretty hard. I mean, he's not really that bad.
Basically, he has that mechanic where when people use skills, he
targets them.
That switches his target around.
Yeah,
and then he'll go attack 3 times, and each time he gets a damage buff.
Yeah.
That stacks.
Does it stack?
It does stack, yeah.
Okay.
However, if you lose Luocha, you can just dispel his damage buffs that he's stacking. So, yeah, those just go away.
I don't know. I just normally kill him in one shot.
I can't kill him that fast.
So...
See, I've not spent money, so I don't have perfect light cones. And
fair.
All the perfect stuff.
That is fair.
I don't have any 5-star light cones for my characters except for Yan King, which I don't play.
It's still ironic that you don't play him when you have his light cone.
I know, it's just I don't play him.
And he's good.
Yeah.
You need to build him.
Well, maybe. Maybe it's something.
But anyways. But yeah, so he's interesting as a, elite boss.
I think
like
he's
mini
cool.
boss.
I think it's a cool boss.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got interesting features, right? Because you have to kind of choose, do you want to do damage that puts your DPS in harm's way, or do you want to just use their basic attacks so that they don't get whacked for like...
Well, you also have to be careful with the turn order that you don't wind up with the wrong person being the target.
Exactly.
Because it's a big hit.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have it hitting your weaker support characters, they
can get wiped. Yeah. Because they can die quite quickly to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's very interesting.
Then we have another one of those like witch staff people, wizard staff
That one,
people.
she's She's probably more annoying than the ape, I would say.
I can't remember exactly what she does.
All of her things are she applies wind shear like every time she hits you with anything, and eventually she goes to like charge an ability that applies the like health debuff.
Yeah, the health debuff. That's what it was.
But it's like an AoE health debuff, so then you have to AoE cleanse your team, which I don't know that exists.
Doesn't exist, I don't think.
Right. So then your whole team is like at 60% of their health. Is their new max, and it like actually does the damage. So even if you cleanse it, it's the damage stays. So it's kind of gross.
It's a lot of damage.
Yeah. So she's actually not too bad, and she goes twice like every single time.
Mm-hmm.
So she like starts off hitting like one person, then doing like a burst attack that does it to three, like one person, both people adjacent to them.
Yeah.
Then she does like a bounce one, and then she charges, and then when she unleashes the charge, it does like the AoE health nuke. So if she gets like 3 turns, she AoE health nukes you like every time.
Yeah.
Which is kind of gross.
I don't think it was horrible, but
it's not horrible, but once again, I mean, for like these I call them like mini boss elite enemies, you know, whatever you want to call
mini
them.
boss.
I call them, I guess the elite enemies are kind of more of like your crossbow people, etc.
Yeah, the ones that are slightly tankier.
Yeah, but for like a mini boss enemy, I feel like she's definitely one of the more annoying ones.
Mm-hmm.
So, interesting.
And I think that covers all the new enemies, right?
Yeah.
No extra ones that I'm missing.
Yeah, no, I think that is all of them. But they're quite cool.
Yeah. We also have some new events, which Zane has not played yet.
Yeah, I'm really great at doing things. I wait till the last minute for everything.
So don't worry, I've done the events. I'm up to date on events, so I'm here to discuss them and explain them to Zane. So first up, we have Tales of the Fantastic. It's honestly, in my opinion, way too long.
So not so fantastic?
Yeah, Tales of the Not So Fantastic. It's too long. I found it kind of boring. It's basically like a make-believe story. I kind of just, like, you're basically with one of the people who likes to make stories and write them down and something like that. So you're basically acting out a story in a way, and you basically just fight things. That's the first 3 chapters, and then after you finish those, you have to do these scenes, which are just fights. And they're just like, get as many points as you can, kill as many things as you can, and I don't know. And they also included a whole like, oh, you can get buffs. And I was like, this feels like too much for something that's just not that relevant. Like, it's fine. It's not for me. Not my personal cup of tea for an event. However, we do currently have the Mystery Trotter event going on, which I personally really like.
I mean, you do love fun. Lost Trotters, so...
Yeah, the Warp Trotters are quite fun to kill, because every day I get to get up and be like, ooh, 70 Jade. Sweet. And yeah, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, and I mean, I know about the Planar Fisher.
Yes.
Planar Ornament doubling is great. Now. Yeah, Planar Ornament doubling is fantastic. I am always a big fan of that because I have horrible luck when rolling for relics. So the more of them that I get, the more chances that my horrible luck fails once to give me at least one halfway okay relic.
Yeah.
Improves. So, yeah, double relics, double planar ornaments, always, yes, good.
Yeah, that constitutes all the events currently going on, and I don't remember all the ones that are coming soon.
I know they have a relic doubling one at some point, and that mining one, right?
Oh yeah, I don't know when they're coming. They've got to be coming semi soon.
They've got to come out with Kafka, right?
Well, yeah, that's that. Well, okay, I guess we should talk about Blade first before we talk about Kafka.
Yeah.
Because Blade is the banner currently going on, and as we speak, he's only got a week left.
Yes.
I have not managed to pull him, and I think I've done about 50-something pulls. Because I am the person who's struggling to get the funds. The Jade just...
The free-to-play funds are lacking.
Yeah, it's just not but so easy. I'm trying to click it
Yeah.
right now so I can see exactly how many I've pulled. I have pulled almost 60s.
You're at 59. Yeah, you're at exactly 59.
So I hope I get it sometime soon. But if I don't, that just means I'm next 5-star, because I'm skipping Kafka, so that means next 5-star I want. I pretty much am most of the way there for at least getting
a 50-50 shot at
Yeah.
him. Yeah. I, on the other hand, I got my blade. I mean,
How many pulls?
So it was 75 to fail the 50-50, and then I think 20. Which, I mean, I was already 50-some in, so it wasn't really that many pulls all in all. And then I got his late cone in like 30, so I don't know.
Understand.
I don't understand it either. My luck
You always get light cones.
My luck is never was never this good. In Genshin.
I tried to get Jingyuan's light cone, fail 50-50. I had to go almost all the way to hard pity.
It was a 75-25, not to make you feel worse.
Oh yeah, that's right. I failed a 75-25, and I've never pulled for a light cone since because I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. It's a waste when I can get actual characters.
That's fair. Yeah, that's more of the dolphin in me. I'm able to get the light cones.
Right, because you have more.
Yeah, and then I decided eventually to pull for E1 blade.
What?
So I have E1.
I didn't even know that.
Yes.
What?
So I have E1.
How many did that take?
That took 50.
Oh my gosh. What? I didn't know that. What is this E1?
It's really good. So when his ultimate deals additional damage to a single enemy, with the increased amount being up to 150% of his HP lost in the current battle.
Oh wow. Wait, what? Oh.
So basically, he gets to store up to 90% of his max HP.
Wait, so the more damage he's taken over the course of the entire battle, the more does?
So basically, he has like this substat thing. Regular Blade has this too. That's part of his ult damage. As he takes damage, it like stores it and like records how much damage he's taken to his HP. It can store up to 90% of his max HP in there.
Oh.
So like if he went from 100% HP to 10%, it would be capped. And then when he ults, it does that much damage. It does a percent of that damage back. This takes that damage and then it also adds a 150% multiplier to it.
What? Okay.
On top of what it would normally do. So his E1 makes his ult do a lot more damage to the actual first enemy. I can't believe you pulled an
E1. Ugh, I can't even imagine. I was just trying to pull Arlen. Like, that was my sub-goal, was to just get an Arlen, because I don't have one. And I E6 Susheng, and now I have, like, E4 Natasha instead, because I can't stop getting them.
Meanwhile, I pulled, like, exclusively
And, yes,
Arlen.
I know, they're both way better than Arlen.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just want one, just so I can have him. And it's like, for some reason, I'm getting the better characters, and I know I shouldn't be complaining. But I just wanted one.
Don't worry. Sooner or later, instead of getting one, you'll get like 5, and you'll be like, no, not Arlen. I don't want Arlen.
I mean, I don't know.
But yeah, so I've been using Blade. I mean, this team that I'm using, Silverwolf, Bronya, Locha, Blade, I'm sure you all have heard. It's a really good team. It's his best team right now because Blade is so skill point practically neutral. You're able to get away with running Silverwolf and Bronya, who both use skill points.
Yeah.
And it amplifies his damage a lot. Bronya Blade is gross, just like Sela Bronya. And it's just nice because it offers you a different elemental coverage with it. The only difference is it does require Locha as opposed to Bailu. So you are kind of locked using Bailu then with your Sela.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you have just like all the synergy on this team that you could possibly want. Though, fun fact, the game is not always smart enough to realize that Blade is your DPS unit when you're running him with an attack scaling Locha. The game isn't smart enough to realize that his damage scales with his HP and it goes, oh, your Blade only has 1400 attack. I'm not gonna try to buff him, so this team doesn't work on autoplay at all.
Okay.
And it requires you to click a whole bunch of extra times, so if you're lazy like me, it's not the team for you. Because, Bronya always defaults to Locha.
unfortunately, I haven't really gotten to the point where I'm messing around building other teams. I'm still kind of just semi-working on the teams I have. I need to be better about using all my energy because there's some days where I'm like, whoops, I forgot to spend my Trailblaze energy. But I am starting to get characters to max level, which is nice.
I mean, it's a casual game, right? Wait, what
Right.
level is your Silver Wolf?
80?
What?
What do you mean? Yours is 60?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, mine's 80.
Yeah, mine is a whole 60.
Oh, hey, look, I can upgrade her ult.
Look at my things. Yours is so much further along.
Yeah, but look at your stats. Your stats are probably way better than mine. Yeah, they are better than mine. Your defense is so much higher.
Your speed is faster.
It's because my relics are not really built. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really build her relics. One thing I am a little bit starting to get annoyed about is using QQ. It just doesn't... I really need to build her with more crit rate, which I haven't done. Because if I can do that, I think she'll become more reliable. Because right now she's just so unreliable damage-wise. It's like... Sometimes it feels like my Welt is doing more damage than her. Which is great for Welt.
Welt does a lot of damage.
I know,
and
but he's
really
also
good.
supposed to be like a sub DPS.
Yeah, he is.
And he's kind of taking over as main DPS sometimes, it feels like.
Yeah, speaking of sub DPS, that is kind of Blade's greatest addition to this game, is the fact that he opens up like genuine 2 DPS teams that like allow you to use a really skill point hungry DPS unit with a skill point with him, right?
Right.
Because this whole thing is he uses 1 skill point every 2 or 4 turns. If you're running him with Bronya, it's 2.
Right.
If you're running him without Bronya, it's 4. So he opens teams like Blade, Bronya, Locha, Sela. Where all of a sudden you're getting to use Bronya, you're able to use Sela's skill practically every time like she wants for her max DPS output. You can throw in occasional Bronya E's, and Blade is still putting out the DPS of like an actual DPS unit because he's using his skill once, and that just gives him the damage, and he covers the AoE, Sela covers the single target, and they just decimate everything.
Yeah.
So, that is definitely one of the greatest appeals, I think, of Blade, is the fact that he is flexible.
He looks really, really cool.
He does, yes.
He's got quite a neat aesthetic.
Plus, Wind Element DPS unit, there's only Dong Hung, and I am one of the minority who's not the biggest Dong Hung fan.
I think he's alright.
He's fine, but he doesn't do anything particularly special. I feel like as a 4-star unit, he's okay. Good. Like he's not bad, but he's not a Sela. He's not a Yankee.
Yeah, he's not a 5-star.
Correct. He's not a 5-star. So this gives.
So he won't have as naturally strong abilities.
Correct, but this gives the Wind Element a 5-star unit that is now able to really start tearing through content. Right.
Right, and this is the first limited 5-star destruction we've seen as well.
Correct. It
First
is.
destruction unit.
No, he won't be the only limited 5-star destruction unit for long.
Why?
Because Inhibitor Lumain,
Is destruction?
He's destruction, yeah.
Oh. Why did I think it was Hunt?
No, he's not Hunt. Because Don Hunk's Hunt. That's why you were thinking Hunt.
Oh. Huh.
But yeah, so there'll be 2. Just maybe they'll have some cool synergy with each other, and you'll want them both on the same team.
Well, that may not happen for me.
I'm just saying maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know.
We'll
see.
The world is Hoyo versus Waystar. For seeing what they actually do. But yeah, so he is quite good, and my Blade is, I would say, low investment. He has terrible relics.
They're all level 15. What do you mean they're terrible?
This is an HP main stat boot. You want speed boots. This is a
Well,
HP...
I mean, they should at least give him decent stats.
Yeah, his stats aren't awful, but his stats could be way better. But even with this, he is still outputting like 100k damage with his ult. If if he's got a Bronya ult and a Silverwolf ult on the enemy.
I cannot relate.
But once again, that's a Bronya and Silverwolf ult, which dramatically increases your damage.
Mine never hit numbers that high.
On his own, he can hit for like 40k.
Oh yeah, just 40k. Yeah, mine can't hit for that on their own. No, none of mine can. Oh gosh, what the heck?
But this is also an E1 blade with his light cone.
Yeah,
signature.
that's true. That's true.
So like he should hit hard.
Yeah.
If he didn't hit hard, it would be an issue.
True.
Another interesting thing about Blade is he actually has really good break potential. When he has a skill active, his attack does like the burst where he hits one enemy and then he hits the enemy again and both enemies adjacent. And he ends up doing 2 toughness bars worth of wind damage to the primary target and 1 to the secondaries. And then with his ult, he does 2 to the primary target and the secondary. So he ends up actually shredding a lot of toughness gauge.
Yeah.
With just the use of 1 skill point, right? Because 1 skill point is getting you 4 toughness break potentially 4 times.
Yeah.
So 1 skill point is 16 toughness break.
What do you mean by toughness break?
So you know how like an auto does normally like a sliver?
Yeah, like
that's
a sliver?
1
You're saying we do 16?
For 1 skill point because he throws 4 autos in there. And his enhanced autos do 2 to the primary target and 1 to the secondary.
That makes more sense. I was just like, what?
Yeah, assuming you're only hitting the primary target who's wind break or wind weak, he does 8.
Yeah.
If that's only the primary target that's weak to wind.
Right.
But he just ends up doing a lot of toughness shredding depending on how many wind weak enemies you're fighting.
Right.
So that's just an added benefit. So he ends up applying a lot of wind shear.
Yep.
Just kind of by accident.
Anyways, I think that about wraps up 1.2 for the most part.
I think so. Looking forward to Kafka. I know
I'm skipping, but you know.
I know Bran is not, but
yeah. She's fine. I'm not really gonna pull.
I'll be trying out dot teams eventually when I get the credits to.
I'm
build
gonna be
units.
saving because the patch after this seems interesting. If you want to reach out to us, be sure to email us at astralexpresschat@gmail.com. Send us questions, whatever. If you're like, hey, what's your favorite food? Send us an email. We'll answer it.
Yeah. And thanks for coming back. We're here for the long run.
Yep.
So.
Yep. We may have skipped a week, but we're coming back stronger.
In the meantime, hope all your 50-50s are wins. And
everyone, good luck with Blade and good luck with Kafka if you're pulling for her.
Yeah. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.